In this Multiversus video, I'm going to go over the best perks to use with Jake in Multiversus. From the main menu here, I'm going to select Collection, and then from the collection of characters I currently have available in Multiversus, I'm going to select Jake. Here it will take us to the Train Perks menu. You can see there are 3 lower level perks you can equip with Jake per match, and then there is 1 signature perk that you can equip with Jake. I'm going to go into the Train Perks menu here and take you through the different types of perks that are available. We have a offense section, a defense section, and a utility section. In each of these sections here, you will have Jake's known perks. These are the perks that you have earned with Jake and you have available. So these are the ones that you are most likely going to have unlocked if you're a lower level Jake or just getting started with Jake in Multiversus. Then we have unknown perks from other characters. These are perks you've unlocked when using other characters in Multiversus. Then we have all other perks, and these are the remaining perks that are available in Multiversus that you can use with this character. And this will be repeated for the defense, utility, and of course if you want to categorize them all together, you have a all section. So let's begin with the offense section of the lower level perks and select the best perks to use with Jake in Multiversus. Now you can see from Jake's moveset, there is a lot of charge attacks which require a little bit of time. Of course, you're charging an attack, and there are only 2 types of debuffs. For example, ignited here on Where's My Half Pipe, and then there is weakened, which is applied to Rubber Stomach Dude. Now the type of character that Jake is, he is a bruiser. And there is a few attacks that you can use and charge that will knock your player back or your enemy back horizontally, which is the reason why I think Percussive Punch is the best perk to use with Jake in the offense section. I'm going to train this perk now so it's available for Jake, and I will be able to use this. Now Jake's projectile types of attacks are quite tricky. For example, you can eat an enemy and spit them out, and when you spit them out they become a projectile. But it's quite hard to get off this neutral special here, as the enemy will have to be directly in front of you, and there's not a large hitbox, if you will, that you can use for this attack here, so it requires a lot of tight timing. Now Jake has a lot of armor break attacks, which is the reason why in the runner-up of the best perk to use with Jake in the offense section, I will select Armor Crush. Your team's fully charged attack, break armor. Break armor at 75% charge if your ally also selects his perk. Now that's absolutely brilliant, as you already have that armor break applied to many of your attacks with Jake, so that's going to help you in lowering the enemy's defenses. So that is why I'm going to train this perk for Jake and call this the runner-up for the perk to select with Jake as the best perk to select with Jake in the offense section. Up next would be the Wildcat Brawler. Your team deals 5% increased damage with melee attacks on the ground. Of course, when you're on the ground and you're getting off your usual melee attacks, this is going to be helpful, but do let me know what perks you're using for Jake in this section here. I'm going to train this one, and then we're going to move over to defense. Now the defense section, if you've watched any of my previous videos on perks in Multiversus, the defense section really has room for improvement. I feel like there could be a lot more available here. There's not a lot at this current moment in time in Multiversus, which is the reason why you can experiment with this, but Jake has a known perk already, and this is Toon Elasticity. Your team receives 20% reduction to ground and war bounce velocity, 25 reduction if your ally also selects his perk. This means that if you're being bounced off the arena quite often from an attack that bounces you, maybe Bugsy's hammer is bouncing you around a lot in the arena and off the platform, this is going to stop you from bouncing around so much. So it's definitely the top perk to use with Jake in this section here, as you will be using a lot of velocity yourself when using Jake. So this is definitely going to help you out here, as you will have more control over where you are positioning yourself as Jake, instead of being bounced around and then falling off the arena because you're thinking you're doing an attack with Jake rather than someone's bounced you around. So this is definitely the top perk to use with Jake. After this, I would say it's basically going through the usual defense selections and selecting the one that really suits your playstyle. Do let me know what you selected for Jake in the defense section in terms of your perks. Moving on to utility, let's select the best perk to use with Jake in utility. Now Jake, you want to get up into the air, you want to be using his specials in the air, and you want to be slamming down to that arena to get some really high damage effect on your enemies. Now getting Jake high up in the air above your enemies is really going to come to your advantage, as there is a special move that you can use to slam down on top of your enemies and send them for a knockback, which is really going to come in handy when you are using a perk that gets you high up into the air. Which is the reason why Leg Day Champ is going to be the best perk to use with Jake in this section here. Leg Day Champ, your team receives 10% increased jump height, 15% increased height if your ally also selects this perk. But of course, you can mix and match with this. There are a few different perks you can use. For example, gravity manipulation. You're being able to pull yourself down to the platform as opposed to falling towards the platform. It gives you a 10% increased fast fall speed. I'm not going to train this perk as it's a runner-up and I don't think it's really necessary. But that triple jump, especially if somebody else is using it on your team, is really going to come in handy with Jake. So I'm going to select that as the perk to use in this section here with Jake as a runner-up. And of course, CoffeeZilla is definitely always one to consider if you want to be using a lot of specials without too much of a cooldown. Selecting CoffeeZilla is always one you should consider if you like your special moves. Now that we've considered all of the lower level perks, let's get into that signature perk as to what's the best perk to use with Jake in Multiversus. Now selecting this perk here is going to really be based on your playstyle. But with that said, there is one that I definitely consider the best perk to use with Jake in this section here. It's going to be the Sticky. Enemies that touch Jake while he's stretching are briefly stunned, making them easier to hit with his buns. Now when Jake stretches his head is vulnerable, but his buns, his butt, is going to really hurt an enemy when they are hit by it, and it does cause a lot of damage. So having that stun for that enemy that touches you while you're stretching, if they don't touch you by the head, is really going to come in handy, and Sticky is definitely the perk to be using in this section here. Stay Limber Dude, what it does is Jake's house ability, it will give you a bounce when it touches the platform, it touches a surface. So you'll bounce up into the air. I'm not a huge fan of it because it does leave you vulnerable in the air when you're using and charging that ability. But if you are a pro, maybe you want to show off how you can use this ability, then I would say select Stay Limber Dude. With that said, we have now gone over the perks. Let's show you how this is done in a match. Going to press play, going to go for a team game, going to select confirm.
Who are you going to choose?
I'm going to choose Jake, of course, but I have the cake skin, so I'll be using the cake skin for Jake here. Actually, no, let's go to the usual. Let's confirm.
Dog and I'm here to fight. Gonna do it big, gonna do it right.
You tell him, Jake. Let's go, man. We've got percussive power, Wildcat Brawler, Leg Day Champ. I could change this if I wanted to tune Elasticity. Let's go.
Stand together.
Slam nice and early. Oh, it's above Superman, sorry.
Long distance.
He thought I was gone.
Take this seriously.
You're out.
I must admit, that was pretty good.
And they called me a clown.
Sure you don't have powers, Harlan?
Watch your bark.
What? How did that miss?
Yeah, baby, you hit like a girl.
What's that? Heads up, dude.
Wait.
Not many people can take down a fusion. Nice work.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See ya. Ooh, you got so lucky.
Stay and stop.
Trying to get above Superman. There we go.
Slam the cap. You're the winner.
Alright, let's see if they want to go again.
Being up on this podium slaps major buns.
Rematch?
Go for the rematch. Are they going to go again? Oh, looks like someone didn't want to go. But there we have it, folks. Those are, in my opinion, the best perks to use with Jake. Do let me know what you're using with your build. Which perks are you using? Comment down below here on this YouTube video. And don't forget, there is more multiverses that you can find right here on the Anthony Allen YouTube channel. More tutorials and more perk run-throughs. With that said, I'll see you in the next one. You should click on some of that content on screen. I'll see you in the comment section. Thank you for watching. And remember, you are awesome.